Welcome to KIRSTIcast, the show where we hope to illuminate, entertain, and engage our listeners, helping them create the life they want. I'm your host, Kirsti Manna. Hey everyone, I'm Kirsti Manna, and thanks so much for stopping in today at KIRSTIcast. Do you believe in magic? Because sometimes as women, I think we feel like magicians, don't we, with all that we can make happen in a day. I want to share a book with you that really impacted me in regards to making magic in my life. It is the way to replace all the negativity with positivity in your life. And this book is called The Magic. It's by Rhonda Byrne. You need to pick up a copy of this for yourself. And once you read it, you will be buying copies of it for your friends. It's about the beautiful magic of gratitude. It starts with counting your blessings, making a list each day of things you're grateful for, why you are grateful for them, and then doing something very powerful with that list. Saying this list out loud. You'll find this to be a moving experience, cathartic, and creating a place in your heart that will grow and grow. This is just the tip of the iceberg. You got to get this book to really immerse yourself into the magic of gratitude. I love how this book asks you to peel the onion of gratitude and how it will literally change your life. I hope you start your list of gratitude today. Stay tuned for my very special guest in the Shiro Spotlight. Stay tuned for the Shiro Spotlight. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Shiro Spotlight. Well, in today's Shiro Spotlight, I have one of my dearest friends here as a guest, and she's been in the music business for a while, and she's going to talk to me a little bit about what she's thinking about the very mysterious business of music. Let me tell you a little bit about her. She relocated to Tennessee from Nebraska in 2006 and opened her company called Wynne Productions, a multifaceted company providing services in management, artist development, publishing, marketing strategies, video production, and radio promotion to country radio programmers. Since 1993, she continues to provide a platform for talent by producing a show called The Galaxy of Stars Talent Search. And currently, she's head of marketing and promotion for Lucky Sky Music here in Nashville, Tennessee. Please welcome to the show, Wynne Adams. Hi, Wynne.
Hi, Kirsti. I'm so glad to be here.
Thanks for being here.
That's great.
I appreciate it. So how did you get started in the music business to begin with before you even got to Nashville? What happened?
Oh, well, I started in the music business way back when I was actually in 6th grade, if you can believe it, playing in a little group called the Country Kids, faking my guitar. We had 2 guitar players.
You were playing air guitar?
Air guitar. I had a guitar, but I could only play D. I couldn't play any other chords. And so, I didn't know C and F. I knew where they were, but I couldn't play them. It hurt my fingers.
That's hilarious.
So I'm in this little dime store, and there's a strange man walking around with a tape recorder. And I'm looking at who's this guy. After it's over, he comes up, he goes, hey. He goes, would you like to be in a band? Well, of course. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this. Yeah, I want to be in a band. He goes, I need a guitar player. I'm like,
oh, no.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I can't play guitar. He goes, well, you look like you did okay. I did terrible. So I said, these guys can play. He goes, well, how about if you just come up and sing with me tonight? And of course, I'm going crazy. I'm like in 6th grade. I mean, my mom and my grandma are there, and I run up to him. I go, Mom, Grandma, I got a chance to be in a band tonight. They're like, where? And it was actually Voss's Steakhouse in Bassett, Nebraska, a little bar.
A place you'll never forget.
65 miles from Ord, Nebraska. And they were going, no way. And I, begged him. I said, please, please, please. And he goes, I'll be good. We'll get her up, sing 3-4 songs. And so I got to go. And I remember getting on stage and I sang, I can't remember, I think Teddy Bear, You Can't Be a Beacon, and Let Me Be There. And, just did my little thing. So that's really how I got started. And he hired me in the band. And I faked guitar literally for at least a year. Had my amp, my chord, kind of, learned a few chords, but really.
Oh, that is
He wouldn't
funny.
turn me up much. And then finally goes, Wynne, we really need to teach you how to play guitar. So he gave me lessons. And so that's how I kind of got started.
That's a funny story.
It's a
I
crazy
love that
story.
So what do you like about the music business? What aspects of the music business do you enjoy?
Well, I think I love so many aspects of the music business, or I wouldn't have stuck it out this long. But I think two of my favorite things that I love about the business are really the creation and the transformation. And I think that's on all areas of music business. I had no idea what was in Nashville when I came here. I mean, I remember writing songs and creating songs and not even knowing what I'm doing, just writing from the heart and those types of things under the trees, and had no idea of what I'm doing. You know, singing in a band, no idea what I'm doing. Hadn't even seen hardly any bands, you know, because I didn't watch that much TV back then and those things. But it's about the creation. And here in Nashville, when I got here, walking to my very first studio and bringing in an artist that I had brought down from Nebraska to record, and they treated this artist like a superstar. And I remember just fighting to get people to play these things, you know, some of these parts. And I came here and I cried literally, because these musicians strummed that first chord and they cared so much. And they treated my artist like they were a superstar, and they talked back and forth and creating this song. So that part of the creation, but also the creation of an idea and how you can network with people here. And you get a chance to have a concept or an idea and bring it to fruition with your marketing and your planning, the things that you do.
Right,
and the other parts of the creation process is an image, you know, how you meet people and you help them just come up with who they are and become themselves. And, you know, you do so much of that, Kirsti, with what you do and inspiring people through their songwriting and all of that. And that's the creation. But the transformation part too is just seeing the transformation of these artists and people that walk in and how their lives change, and doing performance coaching, which I love. They walk in and they're maybe shy and a little timid. You know this from what you do with songwriting. And then all of a sudden within an hour, you see that sparkle, or you see that connection, and that confidence builds. And to me, it just gives me goosebumps every time, because everyone's a new person.
Yeah.
And it's just that experience of seeing that transformation in them. And then just maybe they call you 5-6 years later, and I know you've experienced all this too, and you just see them transform into a whole new human being, and just have a little piece of that, maybe that you helped them in some little way or gave them some love and some inspiration, is what I love.
Yeah. It's really a lot of fun to help somebody when they're really new, you know, and they, you know, and they go off and do their own thing, and then you run into them somewhere, and they you know, and they end up thanking you for something you helped them with. I love that. I think that's cool.
Right. Exactly.
And it's so easy to meet artists in Nashville, because there's just zillions of new ones coming daily.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
Right.
So what do you think is the biggest challenge about getting a song cut in Nashville these days? Because I know you have your own publishing company.
Well, I think one of the biggest challenges, I think, is that there are so many writers here, and so many great writers, and so many great songs, and the teams with the labels. Everybody has their teams of writers. And I think the biggest challenge probably of getting a cut is just really the relationships, letting them know, first of all, that you are a legitimate publisher and that you really are in the game and you've got great stuff, producing great songs and having great songs, but also never stopping. Yeah. You know, I know it can get very discouraging for the writers that we work with, and for all of us in the publishing business. It's like, gosh, we feel it's such a great song. Why isn't it out there? And of course, you go back to your hometown. It's like, I can't believe you haven't done more or, you know, something, gotten a cut. Why haven't you got this? And it's just because I think there's so many, but I do feel that if we are persistent, we keep putting out great music, and we do that the universe is going to bring us that when the time is. And I think you just got to keep at it and be consistent and keep creating and putting out great music.
Well, I think, you know, I'm not saying the days of this are over, but I think it's really changed in this town, where, you know, you think, well, the only way I can get anything going on is if I get a cut with a major artist. I don't really think that's necessarily true anymore, because we see artists that are being made from social media platforms and streaming platforms, you know, and I just think it's, you know, it's about really, really being consistent. So you and I work with Tori Martin on Lucky Sky Music, and she's an up-and-comer female artist. And what do you feel, in your opinion, what do you feel is one of the biggest challenges for female artists in this current climate?
Well, from talking and working with many female artists, I think the biggest challenge is an artist to know who they are, and to actually find time in this crazy world of social media judgment, people putting pressure on you of who you should be, is really to take time to get away from social media, get away from everything, sit down, be by yourself, meditate, go within and really find out who you are so that you have that confidence, because the one thing that so many people lack is that confidence. You may come to Nashville because you've got all the confidence in the world and you're coming here and you're going to break down the doors, but you really don't know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, you're going to listen to everyone. It's going to get in your head. And then you're going to be, comparing yourself, or you're trying to catch up in the catch-up game, right?
Yeah.
Of who I love what she's doing. I love this person. It's like you have to love who you are. You've got to know that God gave you this gift. You got to know this is what you want to write about. And you entertain, you're a performer too. When we all get on stage, if you're thinking about what one person in that audience is thinking about you at that moment, you're not in the moment.
Yeah.
You're out of your head and you're not in your heart. So I think it's about finding yourself, feeling great in your skin, and just knowing that you're enough and you're God's gift. And that's what you need to share with the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's good advice. What's some things that you tell a new artist? What would you tell a new artist you think that they have to have ready? You know what I mean? To not necessarily to come to Nashville. What are some aspects of a career that you think are important for a new artist to have going on, like a set list or whatever?
Well, I think a new artist definitely needs to, as I mentioned, needs to know who they are. Really, they need to have some concept of what they want to be. I mean, how do you want to dress? What's your upbringing? Do you have a charity? Do you have something that you're passionate about? I think some of those things are more important than a lot. Are you going to write songs about this? What's important to them? I think, and really them digging deep to find who they really are is the first most important thing when they get here. And then to line themselves when they get here with people that are their cheerleaders and people that will truly maybe tell them what they don't want to know.
Yeah.
And I think that's some of the advice I give to a lot of people. It's like, you can come to Nashville and you're going to hear a lot of yeses from a lot of people. Oh, you're great. You're fantastic. Your music is fantastic. But then you might find somebody who tries to help you really and say, you maybe you could really work on that song. Maybe you could dig a little deeper, paint that picture so we feel something in your music. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they don't want to hear it. And I just said, please be open, be open to the people who truly want to help you. Yeah. And don't always just want a yes from someone.
Yeah, I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
And I think too that a lot of artists, they get caught up in the star tripping thing, and they don't think about, the goals that they need to set and what they need to have ready. For example, a 20-minute set, or certain stage performance outfits, or. Just
learn your instrument.
Yeah, learning your instrument, taking lessons. I think that's really, really important.
Right.
So tell me, I always ask my guests this, tell me a stay inspired story, something that maybe happened to you in your life or your career that really stuck with you, that, is inspiring to you.
Well, I think it goes back really to my first inspirations, my family. And growing up, I moved here from Canada when my parents were divorced when I was only in second grade. Grew up on the farm. My grandmother and my mother were so full of unconditional love for everyone. And my brother, so much love and inspiration. It makes you think about the people in your lives, and my dad, who are cheerleaders when we're younger. And, we want to grow up and we want to be an inspiration because they put so much into us. You want to do what you can. So I think that got me to the place of kind of living there and being in the moment and feeling how it was to be a kid and, feeding the goats and the sheep and all those things and being there. My grandma always says, Wynne, this are the best days of your life. No, we didn't think so. We want to grow up and get out of there.
True. My mom used to always say, "Don't." It's so funny because Bill and I were taking a walk last week, and there was a little girl we were walking by here in a few streets away, and she was saying to her mother, "Oh, I wish I was 20." And I said, "Oh, I used to say things like that." And my mother would say, "Don't wish your life away," and it's so true.
You just said that. And so thinking about being in the moment and going fishing, and you don't have anything in your head, you're just doing it, riding a horse, doing this. Fast forward to moving to Nashville, and I had the opportunity that my mom got to move with me here, and we had such a wonderful 15 years of time. And she worked with me in the music business too on her things that she did, but she was such a spiritual kind of leader for me too. And she really opened my eyes to being awake and being present and really living in the moment, and not, because I'm just such a workaholic, get out of that, take a walk, be with nature. And I think it's about living a life where you're awake to your surroundings and you're awake to what's going on, because you can get up and it really, you talked about the book, The Magic, and it's about living that life where you can wake up in the morning and you know there's so much more, and the birds chirping or the trees and the colors of the trees.
Yeah.
It's really, you live a magic life because you don't know the next day who God's going to put in your path. And if you can get on that path and do that, that's my inspiration every day, because I can wake up and I don't know who I'm going to meet, what opportunities are going to be there, good or bad, and why they're there. And, you know, there's reasons for everything. So I think it's living a magical life, and that's my inspiration, who I'm going to meet, who maybe I can touch in some small way.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I think that's really true. That's what I love about that book, you know, the whole thing about peeling the onion in regards to gratitude, and you just never know where you're going to find the next surprise, which I just love all the surprises of life. So I know you probably have a few of them, but what's your power word, or one of them anyway?
Well, I would say my power word, of course, my first power word would be gratitude, because of the way that I just feel that I'm so thankful for everything, just the little things, whether just breathing and having my friends, you know, being able to work with you and Bill and our team and all the things that we have. I'm so grateful for all of that. And I just think that, you know, that comes, of course, from the magic and different things like that. So that's would be my word, gratitude, being grateful for most things. But in order to be grateful for most things, I've had to learn one big lesson, is that you need to realize, and allowing would be my next word, to allow things into your life. You have to wake up and allow everything to come into your circle and know that it's there for a reason. And it can make you much more grateful for someone who came in and maybe really hurt your feelings, or, you know, they were mean to you, or, you know, they bullied you. But, you know, these are all things that we need to allow and accept into our life. And then we can be so much more grateful for so many things, and not just the good things, but grateful for maybe someone who we feel did us wrong, but, you know, it helped us grow, or it helped us realize something we needed to realize in ourselves. So allow would be the other word for me.
Yeah. And allowing to, you know, and it's kind of a funny way of thinking about allowing, but allowing other people to be who they are.
Exactly.
You know, and loving them for who they are, and putting up with them for who they are, and all those kind of human things that we have to go through.
Right.
But allowing is a tough one sometimes, you know.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It teaches you a lot.
Well, I think it needs to be, the gratitude and allowing needs to be so prominent right now in this world, because there's so much division and people are so divided. And it's like, we all, seriously, I talked to someone, I said, they go, everybody's so different. I said, listen, when all these babies were born all around the country, black, white, you know, what they are, everyone was born the same, with the same little light from God inside of them. They didn't know what they were when they were born. They just came out. Yeah. Probably crying, but, you know, maybe laughing. But, you know, everyone's the same. And then it changes as we have all these conditions put upon us. So we need to allow everything. We need to know that everyone had different people giving them different influences when they come. And we just really need to do what God says. Love thy neighbor and love one another. And that's the biggest thing. It's not complicated. It's just about love. And remember that we're all human, too. Yeah. We make mistakes. I think people forget about that. Yeah. So what are you grateful for today? Well, you should ask that. I'm so grateful to be sitting here first with you. Oh, thank you. And, you know, that's been a long time coming. I mean, I met you a long time ago, and I never would have thought that, you know, we'd have a chance to work together. I first saw you play at the Bluebird, and I remember I was sitting with my mother. It was the first show I ever saw in Nashville. And that is so funny. And I saw you, and I go, oh, my gosh. I go, she has so much energy. And Mom goes, you guys would get along so great. And, you know, then it was like several years later we hooked up and you invited me to go to a show, and I helped with Songwriter Girl a bit. Yeah. And so God puts us together. But I'm grateful for you, my friends, my family. I'm grateful to get up every day and be able to be a part and make a living in the music business, which is great, and be in Nashville, which I never thought I, you know, would ever get here. And just really to have the opportunities to be on earth right now, because there's a place and we're all supposed to be here now. And I think it's just being a person here and spreading love and light and meeting people and just trying to be an inspiration. And that's what I'm grateful for, that I've got the gift and I'm still healthy and I have my family and my friends. Well, that's great. Yeah, that is such a serendipitous thing that you happen to be at the Bluebird that night. It's really weird. It is. It's crazy. Yeah. Well, we're grateful for you too, Wynne, and we want to thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you taking time
out of your busy schedule and you work too much, as you say, to come and have an interview. I really appreciate it.
Well, I love being here, and thank you so much, Kirsti.
You're welcome. Hey, everybody, stick around. We're going to be right back.
You're my hero, more than a hero, and I look up to you every single day. Every day, my celebration, my inspiration is to be like you, but in my own way. You're my hero, more than a hero.
I've spent years of self-discovery learning how to live a successful creative life. That's why I created my course, Spark Your Creativity, the Steps to a Successful Creative Journey, to help others discover their own potential. Your creative journey never ends. So why not invest in yourself and sign up for my course today at Kirsti.com. See you on the journey. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for sticking around today for KIRSTIcast. I really appreciate you being here with us, and thanks to Wynne Adams for being with us in the Shiro Spotlight as my special guest. I love what she had to say, and I hope that you're going to go check her out online. And if you would like to be a guest or know somebody who would like to be a guest on KIRSTIcast, then please email me at info@songwritergirl.com. Hope you're going to check out my online course, Spark Your Creativity. It's really a great course, and especially if you are trying to find out and discover more about you and your potential. I'm going to be back soon with my next podcast. Hope you're going to listen, like, download, and share this podcast. Go watch it on YouTube. And whatever you do, stay inspired. You've been listening to KIRSTIcast.